Good evening everyone and welcome to another Ascent Tournament stream. This time we are streaming day 8 for the EU server and I'll be following Arctica again. And we have quite the matchup for you because we are starting off with Arctica versus Appa, but after that it will likely be Arctica versus Karna. So that's definitely going to be the match of the century. Not quite literally so, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be an epic matchup. We've seen them play before and they were so close. It was awesome. The gameplay was just a whole other level and I absolutely loved it. So let me take away the preview so that you can see a list of teams that we have for the EU server tonight. We have Inf, Arctica, Navin, Imor, Appa, Unwon, Karna, FBI, EG, ASA, Win, First, Loka, Raid and Tra. So this is definitely going to be interesting stuff because right now we have FBI on the 8th place for the top 8 and they have 3,382 cups, but First is right after that with 3,005 cups. So depending on what First does today, they could potentially knock FBI out of the top 8 and take the 8th place there. For the rest, the top 8 seems fairly set. You have Karna with more than 6,000 cups, Loka, EG and Raid and Navan all with 4,000 plus cups. They have Arctica with 3,617, Wind 3,532 and FBI, like I said, with 3,382. So the chances of stuff changing after that, because after First you have then BHPP with 2851 and Appa with 2430. They don't really have a chance unless they would bring home the tournament today, and that, though of course there is always a slight possibility, is not very likely. So with that in mind, today there's a lot of pressure on everyone to basically bring it home, because after today we will know who is in the top 8 and who will go to the professionals. So let's have a look-see at what is going to go on. Actually, no, I need to stay there. We are going to go up in actual first round, like only Loka is getting the bye at this time. And that means that we actually have matches in about 8 minutes for you guys. And we are going up against Appa on Vineyards. So that's going to be a fun matchup as well. Vineyards, one of my favorite maps. So I'm actually eager to see that happen. I'm waiting just in my garage. And I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up so that I can actually activate the stream on YouTube. And that I can focus on the game as I usually do. Because I don't want to have to think about these things. As long as it's just going, it's all fine. But because there's a 5-minute delay on the stream, I have to basically check after 5 minutes on YouTube to launch the stream itself. And then we will actually be able to just concentrate on the game. So that is what I'm waiting for now. In 24 seconds, data is going to be sent to YouTube so that I can focus on that. But until then, I am quite eager to see the matches. I am also a little bit worried because Karna is so good. And it will be very close. There's a Dutch term that is so much better, but I don't know the English translation. But it's basically just means that it's so close that the skin of their hair, basically. Whoever goes through is likely going through by the skin of their hair. That's not actually, no, that's not the word. Never mind. Basically, it will be so close that the advantage will probably be negligible. At least that's what I'm hoping for, because epic matches like that are just so much fun. So with that in mind, we will wait for the room. We're waiting for YouTube to catch up. Data is being sent now. They are previewing the stream, and that means that any second now I can start the stream. Here we go. And then I just need to pause it on YouTube and keep an eye on the chat. There we go. We are going live now. But the thing is that with today we have Arctica versus Appa first, while Karna is facing off against Tra. After that we have Arctica versus Karna. And it is very likely that the winner of that has to go against Raid. So this is a very, very difficult bracket. And I'm not sure that I'm a fan of that. Because you get all the epic matches. And the thing is that when a team gets knocked out, our streamers get knocked out as well. So either after the second match, either Brian or I will not have a stream anymore. So I can't wait for the round robins, because that means that we actually can't get knocked out as streamers, and that we will follow all the matches and all of that, and in the finals we will see all the matches regardless of who is going through and all of that. But the thing is that because registration closes well after office hours, and it's especially now that it's weekend, Wargaming can only attach us to a team. They can't attach us to a bracket. So that's mainly the reason why some of the streams that we've had have been pretty short. And here is a tournament room, so let's have a look-see. Most of Arctica already there. Appa steadily coming in with a lot of Appa amps. That's gonna be a hell to commentate on. Thank you for that so much. Arctica already almost completely there. And like I said, we are going to Vineyard. So let me just call up that map. And if I sound a little bit out of breath, I'm actually sort of nervous. I'm not the one playing, but I'm like, these matchups of tonight are gonna be so hard. And I'm just glad that most of the top 8 is sort of set. Weird things has to happen for the top 8 to change a lot. But this is Vineyards. Vineyards has 3 bases. You have base A and B closer to their respective spawns. Base C in the city, though, it's a bit more backwards than where you are seeing it now. And basically anything can happen. There are spots where you can decap base B from the upper left corner. And there are places where you can decap A from the upper left corner. And we've seen both places, both situations happen at the same time. It's so important to get that base advantage, to get those points up, to have the pressure basically, and to make it show that the enemy has to make the move, the enemy has to make the push and make the mistake, and you just have to let that happen and capitalize on it when it happens. And that's something that I love about this map. It allows for that. At the same time, it is so easy to be in just the wrong spot and being absolutely massacred for it. I love this map a lot more when they had the dusk setting. Right now it's a lot more bright than you actually see here. I like that I had a different setting, less bright and less day stuff basically. So yeah, that is Vineyards. That is what we are going to go to. And in just over 3 minutes we get to see the first matchup for tonight, Arctica versus Appa. So I'm going to take away a map so that it's not on your screen anymore. And we're just gonna focus on the game. Stream looking healthy, so that's good as well. Appa still missing someone, but currently they have a mouse, a Force 3 IS4 and another Foch. And there's their 4th one, and I think they're gonna drive the Object 140 potentially, but they might change it. No, he is. So that's quite a heavy lineup with 2 Foches as massive firepower. And they're going to go up against 2 215Bs, a T22 medium, 2 Foches, a Batchet and a 113. So that is a relatively much more mobile lineup with some new meta in the form of all the new meta tanks with the Batchet and 113 basically as filler tanks. Thing is that with the new meta, it kind of makes the team consistency, team composition a little bit boring. And I think that's mostly to do because these tanks, the T22 medium, the 215B and the Foch, are so strong that even though you can very well use a Batchat here and there, and maybe an IS4 or a mouse, with a little bit of filler tanks you have a team, regardless of what map you are on. It is a lot less important to pick more IS4s or more mice than it used to be, because a Foch with the autoloader gun is so evil, it can deliver so much damage in such a short time. That is just basically not something that can be ignored. And that is exactly why you see so many Foches being taken now. And you can bet your ass that they all have the autoloader gun at that. And if you push with 2 Foches, they can take out a tank in relative short time together. And then you have the speed boost with the 215B plus potentially other of the consumables that aren't available to any other tank at this stage. And of course the T22 medium that isn't OP on its own, but in the right hands, especially in a tournament battle, it is so incredibly strong. Then you have now the Batchat with the speed and just the mobility that you can very well use. And you have the 113 with the DPM that it has. The mouse as a powerhouse on the other side with some IS4s, and which is always played pretty consistently. But overall, we see now that pretty much all the teams are taking Foches all the time. We see almost always at least one 215B there. And depending on the map, because the tank doesn't really have that much gun depression, we see a lot of T22s, and if it's not that, then we see Batchats. Or in Appa's case, a 140. I don't mind the new meta, but I think it does take the fun out of it a little bit, because you have to think a lot less about what tanks you're gonna take and more just think about you're gonna take that tanks, where do you put them? Because in a tight situation, those tanks will carry you home. So we've now entered the countdown. We are 5 seconds away from actually entering the battle. I am rearing to go, and I hope you guys are ready too. So here we go for the first match. A lot of pros on Arctica's side versus a lot of Twister and one clown on on Appa's side. We haven't seen that in a while. They did that last... I'm not sure if it was String as well, but definitely last Twister. They would start every battle with please win. Well, thank you. So let's have a look, see what they're going to do. We see Wiser together with No Party Without Me heading towards base B, wanting to get that cap in. And the rest of Arctica focusing primarily on the city side. Mainly probably to get that point advantage by grabbing a base, or at least keeping C from being capped. We see the Foch and the Object 140 together with the other Foch now capping base A. But base B has been capped, so Arctica has a slight point advantage and they're gunning out of there straight off. You could see by the speed that base A was being capped with how many tanks were actually there. And that is the tricky thing. But we have the Spacey and Zerd being spotted. The Foches, one Foch here. Another bit more behind base B here. Waiting for shots into those in the city. But Spacey's a little bit careful with spotting. There you go, Mouse has been spotted. And I wonder if we're gonna see a shot. Yeah, little HE, so it's not doing that much damage. Appa splitting up a little bit, but Arctica is a 10 point advantage, which isn't much, it's less than one tank. So if they kill one tank, they have the advantage back. Ice 4 has been spotted. And we see some nice little spotty spot happening here. Wiser mainly just standing there, not wanting to actually do something, but wanting to avoid stuff happening. And nothing much is happening. Teams are pretty spread out. A little bit of damage being done here and there, but not all that much. Max Troll taking a bit of a hit. But overall, it's a little bit of a stalemate, not so much. The Mouse being spotted again, shooting at where the Foch is, but missing. That is very well done. Good aim blind shot, but kudos to Mo for not being right against the rock. Spacey being spotted again. And Arctica basically holding. The Foch is now moving back towards the other side again. One Mo getting shot at again, blind shotted. They probably know that the Foch is there. Wiser in potential problems, No Party Without Me as well. They're a little bit isolated. And he has to be careful. He does lay one into the IS-4. But then he goes, reloads the clip immediately. And most of Appa is sitting in the corner. The Mouse keeps being spotted. He's now making a move. And we see Zerd responding together with... Oh, maybe not. The 140, the Foch now having been spotted, they are getting out of there. They don't need to be there though. That's the thing. So now we have an IS-4 and a Mouse heading into base C. And they're going to meet a Foch and two 215Bs. Zerd taking a bit of damage, crossing over. Playmaker taking damage there. The other Foch arriving. Wunderkind taking damage. Max Troll being basically obliterated. Base B is now being stolen. We have massive fire going on. The Mouse is going to take, but Mo just lost a ton of health as well. Meanwhile, Appa has lost 2 guns. We are focusing on the Mouse here, but we're missing a lot of action over here. Base C is not being capped. They're not focusing on that. They're focused on taking out that Mouse. And there he goes. Playmaker is on fire. and he's not able to fix himself right now. The Foch just lost a ton of health more, and basically Appa has lost 3 tanks now, and even if they are going to lose a few tanks, this is pretty clearly Arctica's game. We are at 960 points, 1 more kill and it is over. That shot missed though. 970. There he goes, we are at 1k points, and the first match is for R2K. Even though people were still dying, but the match has ended now. And that is the first game over. So, basically with less than 2 minutes to go, we are getting ready for the second match, but actually let me take you back to those battle results a little bit longer. Look at the difference in damage. That is not quite twice as much, but nearly twice as much as Appa did. And I think it's mainly because Arctica was pushing together and Appa was not focusing on the same targets. He had the mouse and the IS-4 there, but people were shooting into base C from the other side instead of helping their guys at base B. So that's probably one of the big reasons why this did not go as planned for Appa. So with just over a minute left to go, we are almost ready. Arctica has readied up with a 215B, 2 Object 140s, a T-22 medium, 2 Foches and a Batchat. So that is a pretty mobile lineup with pretty much the only real piece of armor being Zerd officially, and unofficially no party without me. And they're going to be up against an Object 140, an AMX 30B, don't see that all that much, an E3, a Mouse, 2 IS-4s and a Foch. So they left behind a Foch and taken out a 30B. That is, and of course the E3. But that is a tricky thing, because the AMX has such a big cupola, it can actually work very much against you. So I'm kind of curious to see what they do with this lineup, where they go with this lineup, because I love the AMX 30B. I don't think it's a very tournament tank, because of the fact that it has those weaknesses. And the thing is that in team matches like this, everyone will know how to use those weaknesses. So with 12 seconds left to go, we are almost ready. Countdown clock is starting now. And basically all the pressure is on Appa now. They have to win the next 2 matches in order to go through, whereas Arctica only has to win 1 of those 2 matches to go through to the next stage. And here we go. Now the clown is positioned at the bottom with a lot of twisters on its head. At one point I do find it funny that they use movie avatars in the game. At the other point I'm not a fan of clowns and I'm not that big a fan of it. But yeah, that's besides the point. So here we go, let's see what happens and what they do. Wise heading off towards base B, followed closely by the Foches with speed boost. And Wise is not going to cap the base by the looks of it. But the Foches might cap together, but at the same time the base B is capped together as well, so that means that they will not have the point advantage this time. But it will be a pretty close call. Base B has been capped, and there goes the first bit of HP as the Batchat lays into the 140. No party without me just took a massive hit from the E3 as well. Zerd is pushing, and I have a feeling we might be seeing some quite aggressive gameplay, but Wise has to be careful. He has pretty much no armor. The Foches are unspotted. One of them a shot just at the mouse. Playmaker losing some HP. Wise has moved up. Wunderkind is moving in. Wise now in a bit of a pickle in this position where he is. And they want to take out that 30B. Ooh, Wunderkind just lost a ton of health. They kind of have to focus on the same target here. The E3 seems to be the chosen target. Zerd just lost a bit of health there as well. Basically everyone is moving in now. We are entering a brawl. Wunderkind is reloading. There goes the E3. There goes the AMX 30B. The IS-4 is now in trouble, surrounded by so many, but the Foch is on a drum reload, so they don't really have any shots yet. But there goes a 140, there goes the IS-4. We have a lone IS-4 now in a lot of trouble. And the forces on the drum roller reload wanting to save his mouse. And he's shooting the Batchat, but it's not to no avail. They are the last two there. And now there's only the real Slim Shady. And he won't be able to do much with this. He does get another shot in. But that is the end of it. And it's a 7-0 victory. Oof. And again, nearly 2 times the damage. And this Appa was quite spread out, and even though Arctica didn't quite commit to the push when they started to push, they actually pushed quite effectively, especially when those forces... I thought it would go wrong for a little bit when one force started to shoot the mouse and the other force started to shoot the E3. But at the end it really worked out, because then after that they started focusing on the same target, and that just... yeah, that worked. So that is the first matchup over. Let's have a look. See, we are having a Karna versus Arctica. Then we have Raid versus Win. We have Loka versus Navin. And we are waiting to see if we have first or an ASA versus an EG or an FBI. So that is going to be interesting as well. Let's have a look, see if the game knows anything more than my Ascent Tournament chart. So like I said, we are waiting for EG to see what happened there. They are still going. Potentially still the second match, potentially going for a tiebreaker. And we are waiting for first. Everything is on the line for first. They have to get very far today if they want to get into the top 8. But we still have about 20 minutes left, so I can show you a replay. Let's see if I have anything interesting for you. Yes, I do. Just saving that file now. My laptop is a bit slow when I'm streaming, and that kind of makes sense. But it just takes long to get anything done, really. So let's see. There we go. And we have Zerd in a mouse on main runes. Ironically versus an Appa player. So let's see what happens. I do love this camo. It looks so good. It looks good on anything. I really want it. And it looks a lot less American flag-like when it's on a big giant mouse like this. So let's see where he goes with this. Nicely going towards the middle. The thing is that with a mouse you can pretty much make any position work. The only problem is that you need to get there. And that can take a very, very long time. The T-54 arriving there, probably hoping to get some nice spots. And then just seeing these guns here and I'm like, oh shit. I'm pulling back. And Zerd is like, I'm a mouse. Let me just be here. Let me just shoot people. And there we go, first bit of damage. And again, he is a mouse. He can do a lot of things. Especially side scrape. But that does hurt a lot. But he laid in the second one into the IS-4 now. And he is pulling back. He doesn't really need to though, I think. The IS-4 now waiting for him. And a nice little bounce there. I think it's the IS-4 is in the most tricky position for Zerdy, so he has to take him out of the way, out of the equation. There you go, nice high roll. And now effectively the IS-4 is a 2-shot. And we have a nice shot into the E75 there. But you have to be careful with that IS-4. Basically the IS-4 has to leave. Nice shot into the send there. But he does lose HP now. And he is pulling back. Nice big hit. We are already 3k damage in. And this is the thing, you can angle the mouse so well. Nice high roll. And he has to be careful not to turn his turret too much. At the same time, you want this E75 gone. But he still takes out the convoy. And now Zerda's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Basically, that's kind of the impression that I get. And with a little bit of HE, he takes him out. The IS-4 is still alive. And it is 2 versus 4. And Zerd needing a little bit of help, but only if they all come at once. And that definitely helps. 5.2k damage in. E50M at the back. Probably the biggest threat at this stage. He's not gonna survive for long. So Zerd takes a hit to take out the IS-4 and get to 5.6k damage. His teammate is still alive somehow. And Zerd is like, I'm gonna shoot you. Nice few bounces, but that is what the mouse is all about. 6k damage in. And there he goes, teammate did what he should. And now we have one guy left. But there he goes. 6.3k damage, 4 kills. A sweet little forward holding game. And he does not have time to drop off the bridge. $1,565 base XP. A little bit of assisted damage there as well. Nice game. So it is 17 now. I'm just going to check if we have a result yet. Not in the app, we don't. But let's see if we know here. And we are still waiting for FBI and EG. That is still going. So probably a tiebreaker. And first versus Asa. Let's see where that is at. They are also still going. Let's have a quick look to make sure that it starts at 32. I think yes it does. And that means that I can show you another replay. Let's see what I have for you. No. I did this earlier on NA. I'm going to show off my own replay in a very, very funny game. Where I do a lot and I do very little. So I'm going to show you this game. This is one of those tanks, actually it's one of those battles. I only play raiding in order to get the mission done. Because you got the win 3 raiding battles missions. And I don't even care because I don't really want to play raiding. But for the missions I tend to do it. So I had win 3 raiding battles. So here I am in my very toxic green looking AMX 30B. Which I think looks amazing like this. And I'm just doing some raiding here. But at this stage, I thought... well, actually no, I'm not gonna spoiler it for you. So let's see where he is going with this. I do agree with this. I am Dutch, hence the affirmative. But I'm not French, so I didn't respond to that. So at this stage I am going to go into base D. I'm actually looking back to see if I can see anyone at base C. Pondering a blind shot, but I decide not to because it's probably a waste. And when base D is capped, base B is also being capped, so the team is in a pretty good position. I decide to just see where their TDs are, because they have 3 of them, and they are likely camped here. So there's a T-57 Heavy. I tried to shoot him, but I can't. But I've also spotted a E4, and the E4 goes forward, and you just see him steadily being deleted just before he drops out, but then he has 34 HP left. So I murder him. I get shot by the Jaeger. I can't really do anything about that. But I've lost a lot of health. I got a kill, but I did very, very little damage. So now I actually get a good shot of damage. I want to shoot him as well, but I can't. I have no idea where that shot went, but now he has 14 HP left. And I decide to peek on over, get the gun depression right, bounce a shot, and I get a second kill for less than 500 damage, which I don't actually see in the battle because I'm not looking at the ribbons when I'm playing battles. But you do see it here very clearly. I don't do damage with that shot, but I do spot the 268 when he shoots me. And this is what happens to the 268 when he does that. I bounce my own shot on him, but I cost him quite a bit of HP, so that's not all too bad. But at this stage, I'm one shot for anyone and everyone. So I'm very hesitant with peeking over here because I don't want to get shot again and die. So I have my teammates here and I decide I don't really want to be here. So let's see where I can go, where I can still be useful. E5 has now been taken out. I'm peeking out here. I know the Jaeger is there. I shoot and I shoot sand, so that is very useful. And I'm kind of hesitant to go over this because, well, with this little health I could get shot very easily. Object is there. 268 is there. T628, sorry, is there. Object just got shot and got murdered. And you can see on the minimap that the T628 is actually chasing me and I'm like, oh crap. Now he can shoot me in the bum and I'll be dead. So I really want help with that. So I ask for help. I do get another shot in and he just gets deleted. So I take this moment to thank my team because that is just awesome. Because now there's only 2 teammates left. I've done barely any damage, as you can see. And I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. This is the most damage that I do this whole game. So the IS-4 is turning around, missing me. And I want to shoot him, but I bounce because I'm very effective. But I do track him. So I pull back into my little nook here. Because I don't want to die. There's only one guy left now though, and it's 5 versus 1, so I'm not too worried about dying. So I think that, okay, I can shoot him, but that he bounces and he shoots me and I die. After all. So I use the last one left. And there he goes. And that is the end of that game. Now you're probably going to wonder why I showed you this if I did so badly. Well, this is actually why. I got a second class for that. I was like, what the hell? And it's 793, 96 according to the game, in the game. But 93 according to here. And like, what? How exactly did that work? But my rating went up 44 points. That's not going to happen with that little damage and 2 kills. So I looked at the team. The team did way better than I did. My rating went up 44. So what happened? And then I saw this. I did 4,684 spotting damage. And that is exactly why I like this tank. And why I like this match so much. But that's mainly the thing. It is not all about doing big damage. It's not all about getting all the kills. You can't tell me that I wasn't effective this match. Because with all the spotting and the assisted damage that I got, I was very effective. Never mind that I died in the end and did very little damage. And yes, potentially they could have won without me, but it would have probably gone very differently, I don't know. But that's mainly my thing. Win rate isn't everything. Damage isn't everything. Kills aren't everything. I only spotted 4 people. I have 4.6k spotted damage. Assisted damage, I should say. So just keep that in mind when you're in battle and when you see someone having a low damage thing. I mean, 1766 damage to the E4. Spotting damage. 1910 to the object. Nothing to the Jaeger. 404, well, that's actually what I shot myself. 432 to the IS-6, IS-4, and to the T628, 576. So yeah, that's all in all, it was a really funny game. I just saw someone ask, is the IS-5 a good tank worth of its money? Considering it's a very cheap tier 8, I would say yes, but I'm not a fan of the tank itself, so I've actually not played it on my account. I do have it, and it looks fancy in its fancy camo, but I haven't actually played it there. In the meantime, someone is speaking Russian. I don't mind people speaking other languages, But do please consider talking in English, because I actually have no idea what you're saying unless you're talking in English. And neither do most of my moderators, so. Coins will be available from September 21st onwards for watching streams. And if they did it the same way that they have done it last few times, if you have all three streams, or not, I actually don't know if it's 3 or more, but if you have all streams playing, you will get that amount of coins extra. So it is worth having all streams on, but then just muting the ones that you don't actually want to watch and listening to the one that you do want to watch. So I'm now just waiting for the room invite that should be up in about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's have a look-see in the meantime if we know what happened to EG and first. EG is through and ASA is through. And that means that the top 8 is pretty much set now. Because first had a chance to take FBI home. And even though FBI has also been knocked out, but they got the same amount of cups. So basically the top 8 as it is can't really be changed anymore. The only thing that can be changed is the positions. Of all these tanks that are left, only ASA is not a top 8 clan. And they can't really gain enough cups to get top 8 unless they win the whole tournament, and that is just very unlikely. So now we are going to have Karna versus Arctica. And there are going to be streams, 2 streams with this, because Brian is following Karna and I'm following Arctica. So after this, one of our streams will be stopping. And we're going to go to Castilla and Vineyard, so that's definitely going to be challenging. Castilla is a difficult map, but I do expect that we will get a tiebreaker here. If both teams are in shape, and I have no reason to think that they are not after the battle that we saw and Karna being Karna. Someone just asked, kan du prata svenska? Jag kan prata lite svenska, but that's mainly because I have 2 sisters that live there. And that's about where it ends for me, so no, I can't really speak Swedish. And there we have Brian on Arctica's side and me on Karna's side. I want to just wave and say hello, Brian. But yeah, Karna already completely present. And we see a lineup that is prone to change. Arctica now steadily coming in. Karna moving to the middle, or maybe not. Not sure what they're doing. But they still have 4 minutes. And like I said, we are going to Castilla. So let me grab that map for you. It's one of my least favorite maps in the game. At least for tournaments. Because it is one of the most teammates map that we have in the game. That is generally just going for pretty boring gameplay. So you have base A, which is considered the map base. Base C, that is considered the heavy base. And base B in the middle. A lot of time we see action around A or on the cathedral. Or we see a lot of holding happening at base C. Very rarely people get base B. And that has everything to do with the fact that it's just very tricky to cap, and there's a lot of lines of fire from campers on both sides into the base. Even from the cathedral on one side and base C at the other, you can get shots into base B. So it is very hard to find a position where you can cap it, and if you get spotted, you're basically losing at least half your hit points. Especially because at this stage, people will be training their guns on positions like that. So it will be interesting to see what they do here, and like I said, this is sort of like a Battle of the Titans for me. These are both my favorites. I don't want either to lose, I want both to go through, so that makes it a little bit difficult. But yeah, we will definitely have a lot of fun watching these guys play, because the last time that they played, it was gameplay worthy of a final. I absolutely loved it. So I'm hoping we get matches like that again. That are just so close and you don't really know who's going to take it home. And that is just awesome. So I'm going to take away the map. We have a little less than 3 minutes left to go, so that's plenty of time. But I want to make sure that it is not on the screen when we go into the battle, because that would basically ruin the game for you. But we have Karna that has readied up with a 268, 2 113s, 2 Foshes, an IS-4 and an STB. And they're going to be up against an E50M, an IS-4, a 268, 250Bs in Batchat and an STB. So that is a new meta-free lineup on Arctica's side. With 2 Forces on the other side, that can be quite tricky. But there's not even a 215B being used. But then again, that is a tank that generally does not work as well as it should on this map. But also no T-22 mediums, and I think that has mainly to do with the lack of gun depression and it being able to not be able to work a lot of positions on this map. So it will be fun to see what they do with this. We still have less than 2 minutes to go, but still have nearly 2 minutes to go before we actually see the battle. But I can't wait. This is like the battle that I've been waiting for. And these are the battles that I keep hoping will be in the finals. Because it will be worthy of that, I think. But it's also because I want both of these teams to just get much further. So I actually don't like them meeting this early. So yeah, just over a minute left to go. I'm going to take a sip of drink in the meantime. Choice of beverage today is crystal clear. The thing is, like, I really like sodas. I don't drink coffee, I don't really drink beer, except for Radler, and then only when it's alcohol free. But I really like sodas. Especially the kinds that aren't too sweet. And crystal clear is one of those. So yeah, that's just a random fact that you probably didn't want to know, but we'll know now anyway. And in 40 seconds we get to see the match. And I just always keep making sure that I don't actually have the map on the screen. Because it has happened in previous tournaments, not this season, but where I just accidentally left a map on the screen and it was just horrible. So that's just something that I want to make sure that isn't happening again. But yeah, Battle of the Titans, or at least Battle of my favorites. And even though I'm supposed to be unbiased, you can't help but be biased. At some point you have a favorite team. I don't follow Arctica for nothing. I don't appreciate Karna as much as I do for nothing. They have the gameplay style that I just really like seeing. So let's have a look what they do with this lineup, where they go, and what happens in this clash. Okay, that is a little bit, yeah. Let's not comment on that, shall we? So we have Dakudas together with the Blue Steel and the F heading towards, not necessarily to A, but more towards the middle. We see Wiser hanging back to spot, Gassio going up the ramp near base B, and Spacey heading up the hill towards the Citadel, with the AMXs heading over the back. The Forces taking positions to shoot people on the other side. Ooh, Gassio already taking some damage. Very lucky that he's missed by the Force there. Edgar taking a bit of damage back. But base C has now already been capped, and that means that Karna, even though they went for a completely open base, now has the point advantage. And Arctica is yet to grab a base. Now base A is being capped. Wise having been spotted. Ooh, he just narrowly avoided getting shot there. We have the 268 moving at the back. Gassio in a tricky position. He can't really do anything from there. And if he gets spotted, he will lose a lot of hit points most likely. Radikos being shot at, but no damage being done. Arctica more or less stuck in a corner. Karna spread out on the other side. Dukadas wanting to spot people. There's actually no one there to shoot them, but Arctica won't know that and they won't expect it either. Spacey having been spotted. And this is exactly what I mean with this map. We are now in a stalemate position where not much is happening. Foch and 268 next to each other, ready to waste people when they spot them. And Arctica holding at the back, not sure what to do, where to go. Potentially contemplating going back through the spawn by the looks of what Wise is doing. Wise mainly spotting. Radical still in the same spot, shooting the STB, getting a tiny bit of damage done back to him. Blind shot into the blue steel, and he immediately moves. That was a good call from Castilla. But so far, Karna has the point advantage. They have the HP advantage, though that is not that big a difference. But basically, Castilla is stuck. And Arctica will need to do something. They will need to make a move. They will need to take someone out. And with those big guns just waiting there, that is not something that you really want to walk into. And we have Wise in the bat chat. Going carefully. But not risking it. I think that's a very good call. You don't want to risk that. The AMX 50Bs. Heading on over. Playmaker in the 268. In the middle. Wise now in the position where he can potentially spot people. But if he gets spotted, he might be in a lot of trouble. And he's just inching forward. Wanting to spot without being spotted. Now people have been spotted. And he's not risking shooting. No party without me, losing a little bit of HP there. Wise carefully moving back. He has not been spotted, but he has to be careful that he doesn't fall down, because then being here is quite a bit useless. No party without me, pulling back, getting shot at steadily. They know that there's a lot of guns there. But they don't really have a choice. At some point they will have to make a move. And they expect people to be up there. But they can't really do much. We are already at 700. Ooh, Spacey losing a bit more HP there. Castilla moving over the hill. The one Mo surviving that crossover. But he has been spotted. Blue Steel losing a bit of HP. Where are you? There you are. But we are near 800 points now, so something's gotta give. Something has to change. They have to take out a tank. And I think they fully expect that that Wise is on that hill somewhere. And now we have Arctica moving, but it might be too late. We're going to go into a brawl. And it will be very difficult for them to do this, but they have to make the move now. Otherwise they're not going to be able to do it in time. The AMX is now being spotted. Force turning around. Ooh, the F just lost a ton of health there. But there goes Castilla. And we are 920 points, and it's all the more important for the people to survive, but they have to move in, they have to take the guns out. 930 points. There he goes. 268 taking a massive hit. And they have to take out that 268. And Wunderkind has to survive this. There he goes. 908, but now it's 924. It is a very tricky game. The 268 is reloading. General. Ooh, this, seriously. Guys, you're making it too. But there goes Playmaker. We are 900. Ooh, 960. It can go every which way. But we are at 1k points. And the first match is for Karna. And this is exactly why I'm not a big fan of the whole Castilla map. Because it invites for these kind of games where it's just like very still gameplay. And then a push comes and it either works or it doesn't. But that is not the kind of gameplay that I want to see. I like the tactical replay where more stuff is happening, where you just see attentive push and retesting and the positions and all of that, and crossfire, and It just doesn't work like that on Castilla. And yeah, this is my least favorite tournament map, for sure. So with a minute and a half left to go, we see that Arctica has now already changed their lineup into a very mobile one with 3 E50Ms, a T22 and 3 Object 140s. So that is basically calling we are going to rush, but I'm not sure that that's actually what they're gonna do. And they are going to be up against a 2 Foshes, an STB, a T22 medium, a 113, an STB and a Batchat. So that's also a pretty mobile lineup, with the only exceptions being the Foshes really, but you want those guns with you and they have the speed boost, so yeah. So we have 45 seconds left to go. It is definitely going to be epic, this. And the pressure is definitely on Arctica. They have to win this next match if they want to have a chance to go through. Not necessarily to professionals, but I mean tonight. Like I said, professionals are pretty set right now, especially with first being knocked out already. So the only one that is still there, not in the top 8, is Asa, and Asa basically has no chance of getting professionals. So yeah, 10 seconds. We are going into the match. The countdown clock has started. And here we go. So let's see what they do at this stage with these lineups. That a very, very mobile Arctica lineup. I always wonder what is going through the team that sees that kind of lineup in the enemy team. Question is though, where will they go with that mobile lineup? Will they go for a straight on push? Or will they play it tactically? So we have the 3 E50Ms that are going towards base, towards the middle at least. And the 140s are going to go towards base C. And we have all of Karna now sticking together. And I think, judging by where they are going, that is exactly what Arctica has been hoping for. But they might be caught unawares, because base B is now being kept, but they have to be careful with that. Base C is being kept. Base A is being kept as well. But we see some decapping already happening at base B, sorry. And it is going to be very costly if they try to get this. So they actually wisely pull back, but they do have a slight point advantage, however slight it is. And we see a crossfire happening, radicals taking hits. But for the rest, not much damage has been done. The Batchat is going to go up behind them, potentially going up the hill like we saw. Why did it do last battle? And we see more crossfire going on. And Wunderkind is going back, potentially to spot the Batchat. They probably expect to be there, but he isn't spotted. He is actually pulling back a little bit. And now Arctica is in a very, very tiny point advantage. So they have to be very careful, because they have a lot of juicy tanks. And those can get eaten up quite quickly. But right now, no one has been spotted. And we are in a similar position as last time, with a very dull stalemate. And of course, it is tactics, and it's all about holding and repositioning and making a push somewhere. But this is exactly why I just have against this map. So we see Karna now pushing towards the blue spawn. But there's a 140 there that is waiting for that. And he's only just not knocking down the tree. That's an important thing, because if you knock down the tree, it can work very much against you. Playmaker having been spotted, and he spots the other guy. Dukadas now having been spotted. The STB and the Fosh is waiting there, together with the other STB. Blind shot being fired. And we have Object 3 and the other Fosh joining them now. Blind shots being fired again. Wunderkind having been spotted. And now Wiser as well as he crosses over. And we see first massive damage being done to Wiser. They do not want to be here. And at this stage they kind of have to expect the push. But they don't, and they're going to be eaten alive. Spacey being shot now. And now they have been spotted, but it is too late. They can't really get out of there. And they can only invite them to go into the crossfire. Blue still losing HP, but Wise is being eaten alive. Playmaker losing HP as well. Karna pushing quite expertly into the one weakness of Arctica. There goes Wise. And Dukadas just lost a ton of HP as well, but Arctica has already lost the gun and Spacey is not far behind. Wunderkind in trouble as well. There goes the Edgar. There goes Wunderkind. And Karna definitely has the point advantage now, having taken out 3 guns, whereas Arctica has only taken out 1. And look at the amount of low HP shots that they have though. But they take out the playmaker, they're just steadily taking out the guns. And they're in positions where you don't really want to be. Even though they will possibly take out 1 more. The one Mo is in pretty good health, Gassio as well, but that's not what's being focused on. We are at 840 points. And General is almost gone. But he takes out No Party Without Me first. And there he finally goes. It is 1 versus 5. And though it is a lot of low health shots, he's just lost a ton of HP himself. He's not going to survive this. And this is Karna's game, and Karna is through to the next round. And there he goes. And what a massacre that is. Look at that. But that also means that with this game being won by Karna, and Karna taking the home, and Karna going up against the next clan, which is probably going to be Raid. But we don't know yet. Win and Raid is still happening. That means that the stream for me is over. That was one of the shortest streams that I've had. But the thing is that I won't get another room invite now that Arctica has been knocked out. But if you switch over to Rolling Swarm's channel, he is still going, he's streaming Karna. So he will have Karna versus either Raid or versus Win for you. So that's definitely worth a watch. So let's see. We're going to have EG versus Loka. That's also going to be a very interesting match to see. And then it's going to be Karna versus either Win or versus Raid. We don't know yet. But like I said, for me, that is unfortunately the end of the stream for tonight. I will be back in just over 6 hours to stream NA for you guys. And that is it for me for now. So thank you all for watching. Thank the teams for having their lovely gameplay. That was lovely to see. And like I said, top 8 is pretty much set now, especially with First having been knocked out. No one else really has a chance. The only clan... No, they've also been knocked out now. So the top 8 that we have that will go to the professionals is Karna, Loka, EG, Raid, Navin, Arctica, Win and FBI. Regardless of what happens for the rest of the evening tonight. Be assured that when we get the professionals tournament rolling, then I will actually be able to stream beginning to end, because then I will be more attached to stages rather than anything else. So that makes it a heck lot easier to have a quality stream for you and not a very short one like this. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for the gameplay that we've had. I'm logging off, and I will see you hopefully in about 6 hours for the NA stream. Have a good night.